Hey guys, I am not finished yet. There are a few more things that I'd like to say, and also, as you see, my previous video was also abrupted due to reaching the maximum file size, and also I had to go out again to go to the shopping mall to run some personal errands. And before I continue, I would like to talk about what happened when I got out. Okay, then again on the way on the shopping mall, they deliberately put a big old woman wearing a, a red long sleeved jacket on her upper body and long black pants on her lower body and light green shoes, which a combination of all of the colors that I was popular wearing while I used to try and become a gymnast and Olympic weightlifter at the same time, and also a bodybuilder. And it was upsetting because, frankly, I'm annoyed by this. I mean, if it was just once, then I wouldn't mind it, but so many old women wearing those colors, and this woman, she was wearing all of them, not just one, all of them, and this light green on her shoes, like, you know, that a color that I used to wear doing gymnastics and the bodybuilding that the organization liked, that they put it on an old woman's feet. It's unpleasant, you know. I'd like that shit to stop. Yeah, it's not nearly as horrible as stuff being done to your body. They can, I mean, if it's either this or that, obviously, then that's the lesser evil, but it's still unpleasant. And contrary to that, on the way back from the shopping mall, right as I exited it, I saw this really nice soldier girl who are usually teenagers or 20 years old at most. This young, pretty soldier girl, and I tried approaching her to get her phone number, and she looked at me and she was pretty, and she was white too, and like I said, I'm not racist, but I like when the skin is white. I it's not that well anyway, I like that, and she wouldn't respond verbally, but she smiled at me. She smiled and she kept going towards the shopping mall, increasing the distance between us, and I didn't follow her. Well, because it wasn't natural for me. I don't know. I don't like following or chasing. I like when things are, like, convenient, when they just happen in a convenient way. But, but she smiled at me, and she was pretty, and she was young, and I enjoyed that. I enjoyed her smile. It left a feeling of warmness in my heart. A brief feeling, but a really nice feeling nonetheless. It was pleasant to see this pretty teenage like, or actually a teenage pretty girl looking at you and smiling. It was a very nice feeling. And although she didn't leave me any contact details, um, even that was very pleasant to me. And I'm happy that it happened, because everybody likes when nice things happen to them, even relatively small, nice occasions like that, um, young, pretty girl smiling at you. It's very nice. And I then went to the grocery store to buy whatever I needed, and as I was on the way back home, I saw a child. On his upper body there looked like a shirt with a slightly light green shading, and I believe that his pants were black. I don't remember, but I believe they were. And on his shoes were red. And he was dressed in the same colors as that old woman before, just the opposite. The shoes and the upper body were opposite. And that didn't piss me off at all, because that was a child, and children, they are full of life, and seeing those colors on a child, it's actually a good thing. It's a positive thing that the colors of my exercise would be put on children, because my exercise is associated with great self-development, and children are associated with life and youthfulness and hope, hope, creativity, and big plans for the future. And seeing those colors on the child, it's actually a nice thing. It's a positive thing. So instead of being upset, I was actually very much okay with it. So yeah, there was that. Now let's get back to where I left off with the previous video. I was talking about how the organization might indirectly tell me that it's not like we don't want you to have all those nice, beautiful young girls. It's that we want you to succeed at exercise first. At least we want you to be consistent. And I said that if, as I keep being consistent in my training on and on and on and on, then the more and more young and beautiful girls across the entire world will be unlocked for me. And I could be with any of them as much as I want without restriction, with any of the and any amount of them. That I could have a complete freedom in romance and sexuality. Free love and free sex life without hard attachments, without rules. Well, other than, then nobody abuses or infects anybody with anything. I think that everybody should be responsible in that manner. But otherwise, complete freedom in romance and sexuality as long as I keep consistency with my exercise. That's fine. But what is not fine is if they say, okay, we make all of these girls available to you if you become consistent, but you have to be in a steady relationship and you have to commit yourself to one woman and marry her and make children with her and make family with her. No, thank you very much. No, thanks, because I don't want to commit myself. Well, simply because I don't want to give anybody power over myself, and I wouldn't like to limit myself. I mean, like, if somebody told me you can buy only one type of food, like telling me either you eat pizza or you eat hamburger, and you have to commit to that. I would be like, are you serious, dude? When I want to eat pizza, I eat pizza, and when I want to eat hamburger, it all depends on my mood. As I want freedom in whatever I eat, I also want complete freedom in women and how I treat them and what I do with them. I want complete freedom in that too. And if you want to limit me to just one woman and tell me that now I have to commit to her, then no, thank you. That's not what I'm looking for. I want to be, I said what I saw in the movie of Elvis, that how he was, how not so much as how he was with women, but how women were with him. That young pretty girls would be crazy all about him, and he would have access to them as much as he wants, and also because he also wanted to have a long-term relationship, but it's what he wanted. I'm not saying that that's what I'm looking for. He also had a wife who was like a pet to him. He was in absolute control, which I said that's not necessarily what I'm looking for, but I do prefer to be dominant, and I definitely do not want to be not in control. Definitely do not want to be a pawn, a tool, and definitely not a slave. Uh, well, my point is that I don't necessarily have to compare myself to the situation in the Elvis movie or the Priscilla movie, but that's what complete freedom in both love and sexuality is what I'm looking for. And since we're on the topic, and trust me, that's not what I wanted to talk about. It's just something that just now came up in my mind with the idea of freedom in both love and sexuality. I admit that sometimes, and only sometimes, I show interest in trans women, so long as they look feminine. I am completely not attracted to trans women who look like men in makeup, or who basically look like dudes. Not attracted to them. I'm attracted to femininity. I respect masculine men, only without lipsticks. Like real masculine men, I respect them. I feel like that I appreciate them. Like you see this strong built guy, and you have those manly feelings of respect, but not romantic feeling, and definitely not sexual. It's disgusting to even think about it. I'm attracted to femininity. And so even if it's a trans woman, so long as she's really, really feminine and her face looks like the face of a woman, I could still be interested in her. And sometimes I like to watch trans women in porn, although I very rarely come to those videos. Sometimes I do. You see, I'm an open person. I admit I'm not afraid to admit stuff. It's not such a huge deal. So, well, so what if once in a while you come to tranny porn? It doesn't make you a bad person in any way, and it doesn't mean that you now have to be limited to trannies only, and you can't have relationship with real women. Um, as a matter of fact, like 95 maybe 90% of my interest is in real women and 10% in anywhere between 90 and 95% of my interest is in normal real non-trans cis assigned at birth gender female, women who identify themselves as females. That's anywhere between like 90, approximately 90 to 95% of my all interest in females. But sometimes, just sometimes, I do like trannies, and I may have, I may have sex with trannies in the future. And it's another thing that I'm not afraid to admit, because so fucking what, it's I believe in a free world, free sex life, and free romance. Well, so what if I fuck a tranny? And so what if I come inside a tranny? And so what if a tranny comes inside me? What's the big deal? Is it going to kill me? No, the only thing that might kill me is if I get AIDS or some deadly sexual disease, which I'm not going to get, because I'm going to live a good sex life, but a responsible sex life. Neither anybody going to infect me with anything, and nor am I going to infect anybody with anything. Um, and having sex with a tranny, even if she comes inside you, that's not the type of stuff that's going to destroy your future. Well, unless somebody they like they again tried to play like there was some kind of a judge, and they would use that as an excuse to start trying to destroy your life, which I really hope that's not going to happen, because it really doesn't matter what you do in your sex life, so long as nobody gets hurt, right? You do this stuff for pleasure. So can you really blame me that as long as I really like females with a female face and a female body, that sometimes, and yes, sometimes, not because people say it, because it's my preference, that instead of a woman with a vagina, I would fuck with a woman with a dick. It's not a big deal, right? But I do want you to mind and remember that my main interest in women is in real women and not trans women. That's my main interest, and the dominant, absolutely dominant interest. 90 to 95%. That's my genuine preference. Yeah. So yeah, I'm seeking a free sex and romance in my life without any restrictions or bindings, and Like, if the organization wants it to be about my training, yeah, like I said, if I show consistency and you allow me that type of life, then that would make me very happy. Like, really, that's perfectly fine, because I'm fine with the training. The training is there to make me like really healthy. It's there to improve me in every way possible. Why wouldn't I do the training and be consistent with it to begin with? And if the world unlocks to me in any way, including romantically and sexually, then all for the greater good. I'm very happy to do the training. And actually, I'm very happy to do the training anyway. I'm going to keep up with it anyway, because it's doable, because I think long term and I don't rush, I don't make it unbearable or scary or something like that. Well, for other people, it might be undoable. I'm not sure about other people, but for me it's fine. For me, I can keep up with it forever. I can do this type of training for the rest of my life, even for millions of years or more. I'm talking sincerely here. So if as a result of my consistency in training, the world unlocks to me romantically and sexually, then it's great. It's truly great. But no attempts to bind me. Please, no, I'm not going to be married. At least not in the sense that now the other person is considered to be my second half and I have to be bound to that person. No, please. That's like some kind of prison cell. I don't want that. I really, really don't want that. Like, genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, I don't want that type of relationship. I want complete freedom in every way at all, including romance and sexuality. And and if they, yeah, the other thing that I also was talking about in the other video, that if there is a suggestion that I do something else instead of what I'm doing, that I mean, they can suggest it, but that's not going to happen, at least not anytime soon. Well, I like to do things in the correct order, like I said. I believe that the thing that I'm doing right now is the correct thing to start with. And it also can be extremely great, possibly even the best, for many years afterwards. So, and also I want to be consistent with my stuff. They want consistency, I want consistency also. I don't want to hop from one program to another unless I absolutely have to, or unless I believe that I'm doing something wrong. And I definitely not doing something wrong. On the opposite, I am doing something that it's not only something right, it's possibly the best and most logically sound, most reasonable, most correct thing to do right now. It's possible, very possible, that not only I'm doing a good program, but I'm doing the program that at least right now is the very best. So I'm not going to change it no matter what, how I'm treated. But I do not necessarily disagree that in after being very consistent with this one, and not for months but for years, I would look into doing something different, like possibly something of a more advanced level. I am not against that, it's just that I have neither decided to do that as of yet, nor do I want to rush with it. I want to put some very nice amount of time in what I am doing today. That's my plan, and I'm very whole with it. I'm I feel very complete with this plan. It feels right. It feels exactly what I'm supposed to be doing, and it has nothing to do with anything else because I'm the type of person that really likes to enjoy anything he can. Food, women, video games, movies. I'm very hedonistic person. I really like to please myself, to enjoy. But on the other hand, I'm the type of person who wants to do what is right. I would never sacrifice a very important thing that I think that is right just for potential or even guaranteed enjoyment of anything at all. I'm a very righteous person. You may not believe it, but I am. You see, I may seem contradictory, like I talk about things that seem like taboo for most, like chuanis and stuff, and like fucking so many women. And on the other hand, I'm talking about being this really righteous person. But you see, I'm different than most people. I am not limited. My personality is not restricted to the limited views that of people that other people have. Like he can be either this or that. Well, I'm the type who is both. I both seek enjoyment without restriction, or you see, I'm a logical person. Like the stuff that I say, that it doesn't matter if a 20 comes inside of me, it won't ruin my life, but it would ruin my life if I get AIDS, right? So you say I'm a logical being, I'm a very logical person. And being such a logical person, and one who really likes himself and cares about himself, I both seek fun and pleasure in a variety of ways. I like variety, but I care very much. I very much care about doing the right thing and not the wrong thing, especially in subjects that matter. Not only to me, but also towards other people. I care about not mistreating them, not neither be submissive to them, not treat them like they're the tiny little shits. I care about respecting other people. Not just It's not only that I care about myself and my own life and enjoyment. So I see myself as a type of responsible person who is on one hand very hedonistic and seeks a lot of pleasure and enjoyment, but on the other hand who would not be corrupted by anything. All those pleasures that I seek in life, food, entertainment, women, for example, religious people who are very limited by views, they would see all this stuff as corruption, all the material world as corruption. But how can you be corrupted if your soul is pure, like mine? You see, you only get corrupted if you're not built to be pure to begin with. I am incorruptible. It's impossible to corrupt me. I am pure at heart and pure at my soul. I seek as much enjoyment as I can in life, but nothing can corrupt me, and I will always seek to do what is right. I'm that type of person. I'm the best type of person. You know what? I'm the best fucking best in the whole fucking world, and there is nobody like me in any galaxy, in any universe. There is only one person like me. I'm the most fucking special in the world. And my ideas, they are so great and advanced that one could say that they belong to the future world. And they might try to take me to the future world, but I won't go. Because I was born at this time, and I'm used to this time, and I neither want to go to the past nor to the future. The past is too ancient for me, and the future, let it come at its own time. Okay, let's get done with the women subject. Let's move on to something that's also important to me, also in the form of pleasure seeking in a different way. And I would not like to be undermined in that area either. The area of online multiplayer video games, namely World of Warcraft, on both Blizzard servers and private servers. You see, the global control system, the thing that tries to control every aspect of everything in the entire world, it goes as much as invading events that happen in a virtual reality built for entertainment. A virtual fantasy world where people go to as an escapism from everything else. And the last thing that people would want in a fantasy world is some control system that tries to control the real fucking world. I mean, imagine that there is this system, this AI that wants to control every aspect of the whole world. And you go to this fantasy land to experience something different than reality, a fantasy world. And this thing, it chases the fantasy world too and wants to control it also. That's insane. Well, that's the freedom of control that I would like to avoid. But it also tries to undermine me in that virtual world. For example, in 2014, I used to play the World of Warcraft expansion, Mists of Pandaria, very obsessively. I reached a very high level to the point that I was accepted in a very top-end American guild. By the, well, I was trialed for them. I wasn't finally, accepted fully as a member yet by the end of that expansion. And I left before I was fully accepted as a member because I was frankly tired from playing that game so obsessively. I couldn't neglect real life anymore. But my point is that I played so hard on so many characters that I I achieved a lot of gear on many different characters, high-end gear, especially on the main character that I played. And then I stopped playing the game for a long while. I don't remember how many months or years it was. And when I got back to that game, I decided to go to the battlegrounds with that main character. With all the gear he got, I thought that I would use all that gear that I worked so hard for to my advantage in the battlegrounds. And I would win at every single one of them. And to motivate myself to going to the battlegrounds, I was listening to the music of the heavy metal band called Manowar, whose all songs are about war, but they're creative, energetic songs. And I was listening to those songs, and the people in the game apparently knew that, and they called me. My character was named Flame Spear, so they called me War Spear. And I was made to lose in every single battleground, despite that the two factions are supposed to be not superior one to another in a all too significant way. I mean, sometimes one faction is supposed to win and sometimes the other. But in my case, no matter how many battlegrounds I played, every single one of them is a loss. And I believe that it was the organization's doing. That they were trying to undermine me again. That they were like saying, "Oh, so you think you got all this gear, and just because of that you're going to win? Nah, we're not going to make it so easy for you. Don't get too cocky, just because you have all this high-end gear." And because you get also motivated with those Manowar songs, like you're some great warrior heading to war and going to defeat your enemy. You're not going to defeat anybody. We're going to make sure of that because we're the ones who control everything. So we're going to set up the events against you. We're going to control both sides, so your side will lose and the other side will win. That's how they were, and that's an example of what I don't want to be done to me in video games, because nobody likes to lose, and especially some big AI creature trying to undermine them in the video game, in the fantasy world that they want to enjoy, especially after working so hard for so much time for that fucking gear. And sometimes they would go even as far as, for example, on the private server, make my abilities not work, or my enchants or my trinkets not work when I need them, especially when I play with either high-level geared person, and it likes it, or they make the boss target me all the time, like they want to undermine me, and I don't like that.